building a startup never gets easier. I think people have this perception that once you've made it, it's all smooth sailing and things just kind of fall into place. But with success, there comes bigger expectations, and the consequence of not meeting those expectations becomes a lot bigger. My name's Justin Kahn. Previously, I co-founded the live streaming platform Twitch, and now I'm one of the co-founders of Fractal.
Are we filming most of this?
Sure.
We're really lucky that the core team is just so talented.
You've said before that you didn't really want to be a founder ever again. Do some of those doubts still kind of stick with you sometimes?
Wait, so is Fractal actually going to be bigger than Twitch?
Yeah, it's going to be way bigger than Twitch.
We are starting a new company. It's called Fractal, and it's an NFT gaming marketplace where people can discover, buy, and sell gaming assets online.
So when I've said I don't want to be a founder again, I think what I've really said is I don't want to be the CEO of a company again, which I stand by. I don't want to be the CEO of a company again. Being the person who's like ultimately responsible for the company, that's like a huge amount of mental overhead and pressure. And I think for me, the desire to be a CEO was always ego driven.
The reason I wanted to do startups was so that I could be cool.
It was always like, hey, I want to do it because I think that's what you're supposed to do to be, successful. But I don't really like being the CEO of a company. And so for me, it was all about finding a way that I could participate in the creation and process and the entrepreneurship process without being the CEO. So diving back into being a founder again after my last company, Atrium, was a spectacular failure, a giant cash fire. It was a little bit interesting.
So Atrium is a technology-enabled law firm for startups. What we're building is a suite of tools that help create like bionic lawyers or like the RoboCop of lawyers.
We're here to celebrate our 100th client.
I learned a lot from the last experience. So my last company, we hired 180 people in 2 years. We raised $75 million, spent a lot of it. And then at the end of it, I decided this business isn't viable. And so we decided that we would shut down the company and return the capital, and I laid off 180 people. Obviously, that's not ideal. One of the things I learned in my last company was that I was really good at certain things and really not that good at other things. So I didn't want to do work on product at all. I realized at this point in my life, I don't want to manage. I want to focus on what I'm great at. I'm great at evangelizing things, recruiting, all the sales stuff, and so decided to figure out how could I do that in my next move. And that means partnering with someone who is a better CEO than I will ever be. With Fractal, the thing I really like is I'm working with David Wirtz, a longtime friend of mine, who's the CEO of the company. And he's managing the team and he's like the product lead. And I told him, hey, we should do what you think is important on the product side. And I think that's the right move because every company in Silicon Valley that's successful is a product-led company.
And my co-founder Dave here is, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. Yeah, my name is David Wirtz, co-founder of Fractal. Super excited to be part of the team. My background's in e-commerce. I was at Google for 15 years, co-founded Google Drive, and I'm super excited to just be jumping into crypto now.
About 15 months ago, I started to get red-pilled into crypto. Starting at 13, I became a crypto investor because I saw Bitcoin mooning, and I was like, if I was so close to this in Silicon Valley and I didn't invest in Bitcoin, then the phone was literally going to kill me. So the first thing I did actually was I emailed my friend Brian at Coinbase, and I tried to invest in his company, but the seed round was closed. And so I just bought Bitcoin on Coinbase instead, which was a good move in retrospect, but in the beginning, it was kind of like, it immediately fell from 800 to 200, and I was like, I'm literally the bag holder. After a couple of years, it started to recover, and it even grew from where it was and where I bought it at. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe this crypto thing is a thing. And then Ethereum came out, but I couldn't, as a programmer, as an engineer, as an entrepreneur, I didn't really understand how could you build something with this? It doesn't seem like it's scalable to the extent of something like Twitch. You couldn't build a application that had this huge transaction rate throughout on Ethereum. Somehow it's still valuable. So I ended up investing in these funds and then forgot about it. And it was only about 15 months ago that I realized that I took another look. And one of my friends had created this company called Audius, and I was an advisor to this company, and they sent out this email. It's like, oh, it's live and you can try it now. And so I was like playing around with Audius, which is kind of like the SoundCloud of crypto SoundCloud. And it worked in this decentralized way. You could like actually run this application, and it was pretty impressive. I was excited about it. Around that time, I connected with my friend David, who was the co-founder of Google Drive inside of Google, and he had co-created Google Fonts. He was an early YC guy. And David was like, hey, we should do something in NFTs, on Solana specifically, because he was really into Solana. And I was like, well, the next thing that's going to happen in NFTs is clearly going to be gaming, because all these NFT projects are trying to find utility in gaming. There's this long history of people buying virtual goods inside of games. It's already a multi-tens of billions of dollars market. Putting them on a blockchain, this idea of making them true ownership and durable beyond your game, was kind of an obvious idea to me. So we decided, let's create the marketplace to let anyone buy virtual items, inside of games, and that's where Fractal came from. So when we came up with the idea for Fractal, it was Thanksgiving of 2021. Dave, Mike, Robin, and I got in a Zoom call, and we were like, here's what we should do. And we were like, fuck yeah, let's go. The first lines of code were written November 30th, 2021. And then we just sprinted to say, hey, we want to launch this. One thing I really admire about Dave is like, he wants to go. He's ready to go fast. Robin was charged with getting a bunch of partner games to launch with. David designed the product, and then Mike kind of built it. So November 13th, we said, okay, let's announce we're doing this in 2 weeks.
We're almost there. We're almost there. 100,000, whoa, oh shit. So actual awesome is the 100,000th Discord user. Wait, it's up there.
Because of the history with Twitch, because people knew who I was in gaming, there was a lot of excitement, and really quickly in the first 5 days we grew to over 100,000 people in the Discord. And so people were like excited, they're ready to go. But then we had no product, right? We're like, okay, well, the product's coming. And so we said, okay, we're gonna launch the product over Christmas. And so, that was like 10 days away. We're gonna launch the first version of the product in 10 days, and we're going to release an NFT collection for 100,000 people. And that was like, for the 100,000 people who joined this Discord first. We actually got hacked. What happened was that I think around 8 a.m., someone had hacked into our Discord and posted a message that said, oh, the Fractal Mint is happening now, go and connect your wallet. It was like a fake URL. It was like Fracti instead of Fractal. And then if you connected your wallet, it drained your wallet. So that affected, something like a couple hundred users, which was, to the tune of $150,000 worth of Solana. We, caught it pretty quickly. I think it was only live for like 30 something minutes. And then we ended up, obviously locking down our Discord. And then we were like, okay, what the fuck do we do now?